beautiful malcolm.
Devi Prapannarti Hare Prasida Prasida Matar Jagatu Kilasya Prasida Vishveshwari Pahi Vishwam Tvameshwari Devi Characharasya. This is one of the important prayers that I recited from Chandi, Durga Saptashati, 700 verses on Mother Durga, the most popular text that is used by doing Durga Puja. So, it translates into, well, you know, my voice will go on getting louder. So, do not have to worry much about it. It will gradually, like a tree grows, you know, so my voice will also come growing. So by after half an hour probably you will have to keep on turning the volume lower and lower. Anyway, so this prayer means that all, O Goddess, those who take refuge in you, please bless them. Please shower your grace on them. So, you are the mother of the universe. To me, that Matar Jagato Khilasya, the whole universe, you are mother to the whole universe. So, we just are praying you for that. I took for today's discussion this very important text because just some days back you had Durga Puja everywhere, not just you. In Providence also we had Durga Puja, and in many places in the world, say all over the world, wherever they worship Mother Durga, that was the special occasion. It is a special occasion of mother worship, unusual one. This is not the usual time for Mother Durga to come, but to the prayers, earnest prayers of Rama, because he wanted to have some power to defeat Ravana in the war. So he therefore prayed to Divine Mother to come. And thus, in answer to the prayers of the sincere child, the mother came rushing. It is when you see that the mother is busy doing her work, but when the child cries, then the mother stops the work and runs to the child. So, even though that was not really the time that mother should be looking after the child is playing. But something goes amiss, and then the child screams, and the mother comes. So similarly, this is Ravana needed power according to the old scriptural tradition, and that is how Divine Mother is worshipped in many places. And that would come sometimes near March or April, called Chaitram, the Chaitra month. That is when the normal arrival of Mother Durga is. So, this time therefore, Mother is specially invited. And so there is This is called traditionally Akal Bodhan. Akal Bodhan means the welcome accorded at not the proper time. This is uh, not the proper time of the advent of mother, but looking at the request of the children, the mother decided to come to help them. So that is how the importance of this time. It is called Sharadiya Durga Puja. Durga Puja in the time of autumn. So, uh, and at this time, the wonderful book Chandi that is recited uh, every day. Many of our Swamis actually, all 365 days of the year, they recite it every day. It is they, mm, a great spiritual treatise. It is not just a ritual actually to recite it, but more than that, it is a spiritual treatise. That it is part of the Markandeya Purana. And what is the special feature of Purana, as you know, to present the deep spiritual truths without involving directly philosophy, but rather give those truths through stories so that they become more palatable, more understandable. So, because stories are liked by people, philosophy, so it is. So this is the Purana is stories. So here also there are stories, but in and through those stories, the deep truths of life are described. The story begins like this here, that there was a king, his name was Suratha. And Suratha, he was a good king as such, but the king means always have enemies, somebody who wants to distract, to defeat this king and assume the throne. So there were detractors of the king. So the king got defeated through some conceit from his own ministers, his own generals, and the attack of the other king. So he was dethroned, and not only dethroned, he had to run away from the kingdom and went into the forest. Now he was roaming around in the forest, thinking of what is going to happen to my kingdom now. I was taking care of all my these citizens, the subjects, with lot of compassion, and people were seen quite happy. I was looking after the prosperity of the kingdom. I had lot of money, but now, in my absence, probably this new king is destroying everything. All the nice things, nice institutions that I have erected in my kingdom, they are now probably all getting destroyed. That those my ministers who have now collided with the new king, they are, I knew they are spendthrifts, so they must be squandering all the treasure that I have kept for the welfare of people, and so forth. His thoughts were all going to that kingdom that he had lost. So he was very much worried and concerned. And another thought also was bothering him, that well, that is now done. Now why should I mind go to that? That is our problem actually. That we keep on thinking and trying to recreate the past, or get worried about the past, that what will happen to that, how would that have happened had I been there, and unnecessarily worrying about really nothing. You have no control over it, Why waste your thought energy on that? This is a simple thing. And the king understood that. But he was not able to withdraw the mind. The problem is that terrible attachment that we develop for things in this world. That, oh, my children, my wife, my other relations, my so and so. The mind keeps on worrying about it. And what worrying does is it stops thinking. There used to be a Dale Carnegie book, old book, some of you might have read it, that stop worrying and start thinking. Yeah, because worrying stops thinking. So if you want to think, do you want to think? Yes, if anybody says, no, I don't want to think, we have to think, But if you are worrying, then you cannot think. So you have to stop worrying. And this king saw that he is not able to stop worrying. And then as he was moving about in that forest, another guy he saw. He also seemed to be rather worried and depressed. Asked him, who are you? This king's name was Suratha. The person who he met, he was a businessman and had lost business. Just as he had lost kingdom, that fellow had lost business. His name was Samadhi. And he had similar problem. My children, as they grow older, they kick me out. They took all the business in their hand. And unfortunately, my wife also sided with them. And so I have been kind of thrown out. And as such, I shouldn't have much problem about it. But my mind keeps on going to them. My mind still is worrying about them that are they doing okay there? It is, we somehow have such an ego. We feel that because of me they are doing well. It is, we don't think that God is taking care of everyone. We think that we take care. We take care of this, we take care of that. Now, who takes care of you? We don't think about that. We have that ego, I take care of things. Without me, this world will not be there. Nothing really stops, it is, but we keep on worrying. Oh, now what is happening to them? And he too understood the folly of it. But again, like the king, he was not able to withdraw his mind from that. And then both of them saw a hermitage. In that hermitage, a sage was living. So they decided to put this question to that sage. Medhas was the name of that sage. Medhas. So Medhas was, these names are symbolic, very significant. Medhas means the one whose medha means the thinking power, the inner knowledge is awakened. That is the meaning of Medhas. So that medha is awakened. So he is able to see things in proper perspective. It is in Patanjali's yoga aphorisms, it is said that, that ritam bhara tatra prajna. It is a very beautiful aphorism there, that when you realize a great level of spiritual evolution, what happens is your intelligence becomes very pervasive and powerful. Pervasive means you understand the truth in everything. Everybody is actually having an opinion, and there is truth to every opinion. But not the complete truth. So there is an applicability, a domain of applicability. I don't want to be too philosophical, but there is the truth to every person. Now it is true in a certain context. Other person will have a true something in another domain, another context. Now both of them, they fight because they don't see each other's context. It is, imagine, now you will say, for example, it is getting to evening here, almost, soon it will be dark. So we are approaching night. That will be our contextual truth. In Australia, they won't say that. It is, well, it is just morning now. So both are true in that, their context. So this person whose prajna is awakened, that person sees that both of them are true in their context. That Sri Ramakrishna used to tell this story about, the chameleon. So somebody came and said, no, that creature is red. Somebody said, no, what do you talk? Nonsense, it is not red. It is blue. Somebody said, you both are stupid, you don't know. I saw that creature is green. And then they went to verify, let us go and check. And there was a man there, he said, I live right here, under this tree. And what all of you say is true, but not the full truth. That same creature changes the colors. So that creature is sometimes blue, sometimes green, sometimes red, and so forth. I know that because I always see that creature, that chameleon. So it is like that. So this sage Medas could see their problem, that we all have understanding, he says, even all the different animals, they see according to their understanding. And they all see, like us, we have only a partial truth. And thus, we are really being ignorant, we get attached, we get caught in what Sri Ramakrishna calls I and mine. We identify ourselves with body. And somehow now there is actually no reason, rationally speaking, this is a research triangle. All are supposed to be very highly educated, PhD is supposed to have highest density of PhDs. But yet, they do not see this fact that I am not body. One heap of flesh, blood and all that, that is called I. Another such heap is called you. And so why there is actually no rationality behind it. And we unnecessarily boast that we are rational beings. We are not. It is, isn't it irrationality to call one heap as I, another heap as you or he or she? There is no rhyme and reason behind it. But this is something that we take for granted. basic ignorance. It is called Maya or whatever, you know. So it is, he says, thus every creature has knowledge, but limited knowledge. And that limited knowledge makes us caught in it. And since it is limited, it changes, but we are stuck, like that king is stuck with the kingdom that is gone, you know, but we are stuck with that, that which is gone, but we cannot take our mind away from it. It is in our state, Rhode Island, it's an old state, so things change. So, how people tell the directions, you know, I live right where there used to be a Dunkin' Donut. Now there is no Dunkin' Donut there, but then that is how the direction is given. Where there used to be. So it is limited knowledge and unlimited ego that becomes our characteristic. And that is why we all suffer because of that. This is Medhas, that sage told, that this is because of the partial knowledge, this ignorance. Partial knowledge means not it is really knowledge, it is ignorance masquerading as knowledge, which is worse. That so that is why we suffer. That is the goddess that is causing everybody this delusion. And I am fast forwarding, you know, this is 700 verses. So, and we have limited time. So, it is. The sage told that this is because of the power of that Mahamaya, the power of nations, that everybody gets attached and forget their true nature. Their divinity is forgotten. So they asked both, what is that goddess you spoke about? Can you tell more about that? And then this sage began that, you know, there is the many descriptions of her I have heard. She appears, although one without second, she appears in various forms according to the need. She appears to help the gods, means those people who have very holy, pious life, and they are the demigods. She appears to help them and destroys the demons for them. So that is how she appears in various different forms as per the need. So she came, for example, once. Now here comes the beautiful allegory that Vedanta tells us that we are covered by three bodies, three successively grosser bodies. There is the causal body, that is just ignorance. Causal body is ignorance of our true nature. Causal body, you can experience that causal body when you are in deep sleep, when you are not seeing anything, knowing anything, only ignorance. So you describe it also like that, oh, I was fast asleep, I do not know anything. In my lecture somebody get that state, that deep sleep. So it is deep sleep. In that, see, you are not aware of the physical body. You are not seeing dream eaters. You are not aware of that also. So that is called a causal body. but still you are there. And because you wake up as the same person that went to bed, that went to sleep. And not that uh, you went to sleep as, say, a boy and got up as our Samrat. That is not the case. Abhay goes to sleep and wakes up also as Abhay. Isn't it? No?
Abhay, listen with your ears, not listening with eyes.
Ah. So it is, no, I don't say that. But when you go to sleep and you wake up as a Abhay, not that. So, I mean, it is like going out from your home, but then you lock the home so that nobody else intrudes. And then you come back and go into the same house. So, you lock as it were your gross body and subtle body, and only in the causal body you are present. Then there is the second sheath, second type of body, and that is called subtle body. That is what you experience when you are dreaming. I am telling in very simple terms here. I am not going into the philosophy of it. So it is, and then in the dream also it is you are not using your gross body. The gross body is lying flat on the bed, and you are doing so many things. You have gone to the moon. It is so many things. You are in. Therefore, called somebody is in La La Land. It is. In the dream, you do so many things, but not with the gross body. With that body is called subtle body. In Sanskrit, the name is Sukshma Sharir. And then there is the physical gross body. So in all these three bodies, the Devi also comes in the three bodies. So the Prathama Charita means the first body is called that the Devis fight at the causal level. It is so there the Lord Vishnu has kind of slept for a moment, got into a
Stance.
huh?
Stance.
Stance. Oh, okay, trance. Okay, yeah. He and that time the demons Madhu and Kaitava were the names given there. Madhu and Kaitava, they found the opportunity. When Vishnu is awake, they had no chance. Like the thieves enter when the person is awake, then they keep away. But if the person is sleeping, then they get into it. So it is like that. They say that they are very expert in that Rio in Brazil, that thieving even when they are, it was said as a joke, that it is once the president of US, then the prime minister of Britain, and the then president of Brazil, they were going together in a plane. And then it was a private, this special plane, so they could open the window, put out their hand and all that. So the US president said that, well, he put out his hand and said, I can tell, we are on the White Mountains there in New Hampshire. How do you know that pure air of the White Mountains? Nowhere in the world you get that, and so I can tell you that. Then the British Prime Minister He said, we are right on the above London. How do you know that? Well, that British nobility, I can feel there that great British nobility there. Then after some time, the flight was moving all around, and the Brazilian, we are right on Rio. How do you know? My wristwatch is gone. So it is a fun that see how expert they are. But it is when the person is awake holding, then the thieves will find it difficult. But Vishnu kind of was sleeping for a moment. So these two entered and they attacked Brahma. Have you seen that picture of Vishnu with Brahma sitting, coming on the lotus coming from the navel of Vishnu? It is a very beautiful allegory, and Brahma is creating, looking at the face of Vishnu, because as Vishnu directs, so he is doing creation. So that is why he is sitting like that. But these demons wanted to gobble this Brahma, Madhu and Kaitava. So this first prayer is very special prayer. Brahma started praying now to whom? To goddess sleep, Nidra. You cause people to sleep, now leave that. And goddess, you go away. Means this form of goddess, you go away. Let Vishnu wake up. So that is the prayer. That very nice prayer. Tvam swaha, tvam sudha, tvam ri. So, but if you cannot recite the whole, at least recite these 4 important hymns. So this is the first of those 4. So, with that is the prayer by Brahma, the creator. And Brahma does that prayer urging that it is that you leave, it is so this is the Brahma's prayer, and then at the end the Brahma says, beautiful prayer, that you are the Mahamaya, Mahamedha, Mahasmriti, it is, you are the mother of the whole universe, and ultimately he says at the end there that because of your coming to Lord, the Lord has fallen asleep. And so this Madhu and Kaitava got an opportunity. So now please leave God, so that he will wake up. And then he will Prabodham cha jagat Swami niyatam achyuto laghu bodhascha kriyatamasya hantumetau mahasurau. That you will get away, let this Lord wake up. As he wakes up, then he will see the 2 demons, and then he will kill those 2 demons. And so she, with the prayers like that, the goddess of sleep there, that she left Vishnu, and Vishnu woke up and saw the reality. Vishnu, after waking up, saw these 2 demons, Madhu Kaitava. That is again an allegory that attraction and repulsions. That is an individual caught between attractions and repulsions. What is wrong about it? The problem is if you are attracted to one thing and you are always attracted to that one thing, that would have been nice. but you get attracted and repelled from the same thing. The attraction and repulsion goes on. For example, suppose this little kid here, she likes to eat ice cream. Do you like? No? Yeah. So she will eat, say, one scoop, maybe 1.5 scoop, maybe 2 scoops, and then she will run away from it. No, I cannot take any more. There won't be any liking. Will not be able to even look at it. So that is how our attractions and repulsions work. So that is Madhu Kaitava, the attraction, repulsion, and that it is hatred and love that both go on. That is the problem at that level. So these two demons attack us, attraction, repulsion, and they are to be killed. It is not easy to kill them. Automatically you cannot, even Vishnu could not easily kill them. They were so full of valor and ego. In fact, they were sure that nobody can fight them. And so, they were actually appreciative of Vishnu fighting with them for such a long time. They thought that the Vishnu will be just annihilated in minutes because they are so powerful. So they were very happy that by the valor shown by Vishnu in this war, and then they, in their arrogance, they asked Vishnu, wow, we are very much impressed by your prowess in war. Wow, you fight so well. We want to give you a boon. Ask whatever boon you want. And Vishnu, brilliant boon was asked. I want your death. And thus, those two demons were destroyed. So this is the first charitra of, this is called Prathama Charitra, first manifestation of the Divine Mother. Mother Durga came in this form and thus makes the Vishnu, the God within us, is to be awakened. So that is to know that I am divine. So when we know I am divine, then we can defeat these demons of attractions and repulsions. Because if I am divine, I don't need anything. So then there is the another demon at the level of subtle body. Subtle body means all the thoughts and so forth, feelings, thoughts, subtle things. To give you an analogy, you can call it the software. The body, including brain, is hardware. And then that which runs the body. Software is something that you cannot touch, you cannot, see or smell or taste. So nothing that is gross. Software is fine beyond all sense perceptions, but it works. It makes that work which is perceived by the senses. That is the difference between the two. That is you can, in a simple way, you can consider the subtle body as the software that powers this gross body. So it is at that level, the demon that comes is ego, big. So that is depicted as a big buffalo. Mahishasura. Mahisha means buffalo. very powerful. Uh, it is so. And like ego, this Mahishasura, what did it do? It appropriated all these devas, the good people, all their portions, uh, their fields of authority, the Mahishasura appropriated to himself. I am the master of all. That is what ego does. Appropriates everything. I am the governor. In common people, we see that a big problem is this ego. I am so and so. We are all, in that sense, I specialist. Always describing my glory. I did this. I did that. So it is how I am so important. So that becomes a big problem in life. So how to kill that demon? So all these demigods or these good people so-called, they approach Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva that look at what state we have been reduced. All our good qualities, our, say charitable nature, our the compassion, our spiritual tendencies, all of these get defunct because of the power of ego. Ego makes all of them subdued and dominates on everything. So they went to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh and described their plight. And they were very upset and angry. This is happening? Okay. And a big, great effulgence came from them. Also from all these demigods, a big effulgence came. That came together and assumed the form of this goddess, Mahishasuramardini. It is the goddess that got made by the valor of the devotees, the spiritual power of the devotees. It came together. When it comes together, it becomes now power. Divided we fall, united we win, an old dictum. So, when our different faculties are at odds with each other, we are powerless. But when they get united, it becomes powerful. That is the goddess. So, this killer of Mahishasuramardini, is actually bringing out that force from within us. It is not that that goddess was sitting somewhere. That is how this book brings out that aspect of Vedanta, that arise, awake. It is stop not till the goal is reached. It is all power is within you. Come on. Don't hold on to it selfishly, this thing. For the common cause, to defeat this demon, let us put it all together. And then that became, as it is described here, a huge mountain of luminosity. All was shining with tremendous light. Immeasurable, that was the glory of that. Such powerful effulgence, because all was put together. Everybody contributed to that. That itself is, defeating of the ego. Otherwise, mine I will hold, that fellow, no. we have to give up that idea and put it all together. Now it becomes a force. And it is described here so beautifully. Every demigod, they gave their weapons to this Devi. All their powerful uh, these symbols, they gave it to the glory. Like described here, Indra gave the Vajra, uh, some god, Shiva gave his powerful bow, come on. Uh, the others gave, so many Ashwini Kumars, they gave the all those arrows, the trove of arrows was given by them. Come on, you do it, you are all fighting for us. So you are now the one who will be fighting. So ego can be fought by through this as process of integration of personality. Hmm. It is an important aspect of spiritual life. Let our personality be integrated. Otherwise, our intellect pulls us in one direction. Our emotions and feelings pull us in another direction. And our body goes in third direction. So nothing is accomplished. Like if your car, one wheel is going to east, another is going to west, uh, where the car will go, whether east or to west, it cannot go anywhere. So all have to go in unison. That is how this Mahishasura is. It is not an external goddess sitting somewhere and then you say, come down. No. It is, we make it. That is, Swamiji says, therefore, that it is not that God made us in His own image, but we make God in our own image. A very beautiful statement. It is not any blasphemy, but we see that God coming from us. It is, we awaken that. We are divine, and that divine is to be awakened. And that divine is same in all. It is not my God and your God. Then it is not God basically. If it is my God and your God, and so then that is not God at all. So coming together, that is what makes that big power. And then the fight ensued. Ego takes various forms. So this Mahishasura started taking different forms. And so it is difficult to defeat the ego easily. The war went on and on. And as I told you, this is telling the philosophy through stories. So in this story, you like to listen to the story of war. People do not want to go to war and get killed, but with great interest they listen to the reports and the stories of war. It is so. In this book also they have described. The sage has described the war going on. These so many demons, they have attacked the goddess. All the army of this ego, it is attacking the goddess. Thousands of them, they have attacked Mahishasura. What are those thousands of demons? They are all our sanskaras, impressions. They want to hold us, not allowing us to become spiritual. You decide something, okay, that no, I will not do such things henceforth. But then the impressions are there, and they make you do it. Even after you say, no, I don't want to do it, you don't want. but there are all those lurking impressions. They are all there. So even though you want to behave like a really good human being, there are all those animals like wolves and foxes and snakes, all are inside. So they come out. That is all these thousands of, how many such impressions are there? Innumerable. So they all attack. It is all the army of the ego demon, Mahishasura, that they attack the goddess. And goddess defeats them all, kills them all. So that is how the ego is to be deprived of all the companions. One has to learn to deprive the ego. It feeds on many things. So to weaken the ego means to deprive the ego of its food. You have to not give because of which the ego becomes big. No, don't give that food to ego. If somebody praises you, you feel so happy. It is pumping the ego, It is feeding the ego. So don't deprive ego so that it will gradually become powerless. So that is described here in the techniques, and with which the goddess finally defeats this demon. Then the third comes, it is on the gross level. There, the two demons, while going away, they praise the goddess. It is a very beautiful prayer that is recited very often, that Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha, that comes there, that yes, Ya Devi, Sarva Bhuteshu, Kanti Rupena Samstita, Nidra Rupena Samstita, Smriti Rupena Samstita. So many variations are told. Chiti Rupena Samstita. So it is Lajja Rupena Samstita. All different. It is a very simple hymn but tremendously meaningful. So in every form the Devi is saluted. I salute goddess who live in all of us in the form of, say, hunger. Shuddha Rupena Samstita. You are the creator of this hunger also. You are situated in everyone in the form of hunger. You are situated in the form of memory, and that is why we remember. All these are the forms of Devi, and they are saluted. So then the Devi said, now the demon has been killed, and so now I go back, and then she told that whenever you need, remember me and I will come for your help. So the Devi thus disappeared. Then at the gross level, the two demons are there described, that they are Shumbha and Nishumbha. They represent the lust and anger, Kama and Krodha. They are always together, They don't fight with each other. Those siblings, they don't fight with other. You have siblings, otherwise they have fight with each other. But these two siblings, Kama and Krodha, they work together always. A great example of unity, but not desirable, It is that what are they, the desires, when they get obstructed, they become anger. Anger and desire, they are coupled together. So nobody likes anger, but what causes anger that we like? Our desires. And then the desires in the world are always going to get obstructed. Why? Because they are the desires about non-existent things. How can the desire for non-existent thing be ever fulfilled? That is why the only desire that can be fulfilled, what desire can only be that fulfilled? No other desire can be fulfilled. Only one desire can be fulfilled, and that is to realize God. Because God is real, God is, and therefore the desire for realization of God can alone be fulfilled. All other things appear and disappear. How can one fulfill the desire of having that? Just try to think, friends. It is a simple logic. All other desires, I was giving this example to the children in Greenville. I had a short, nice meeting with the children group. They were quite bright children. So I gave them the example that how long, just think how long will you have to run to catch horizon? If you want to reach the horizon, how long, Sharmili, will you have to run? Huh?
Forever.
How long? Forever, because such a thing does not exist. Horizon is an optical illusion. It appears, but it actually is not there. That is the thing with everything that we see in the world. It appears and gone. Here today, gone tomorrow. So, the desire for those things can never be fulfilled. So, let us be practical, friends. That those desires do not get fulfilled, and therefore the anger arises. Kama results in krodha. That is how Shankaracharya has given this great explanation in Bhagavad Gita on this, where Krishna tells Arjuna that what is your enemy, Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhavaha. That I don't want to comment much on that, but just giving this example, that it is used as only singular, not two. Kama esha, krodha esha. The same thing is sometimes called kama and sometimes called krodha. Lust and anger, they are the two sides of the same coin. You cannot give me just one side of the coin. The coin is given, both sides are given. So we cannot have control of anger if we do not control the desires. So it is, Shankara comments on that saeva kama kechit pratihata san krodho bhavati. That very lust, when gets obstructed, becomes anger. Like you throw the ball on the wall. Now the ball cannot go further, it comes back to you. That is how the desire about, it cannot be fulfilled, so it becomes anger and comes back. So this is that Shumbha and Nishumbha, the two terrible demons there. and then the goddess was prayed by these devas. Oh, you promised us, that I will come to help you. And so uh, the goddess comes again. That is, all the demigods, they remembered how did we had the goddess earlier, and so they prayed again, and then that came there, and this again a long war with the two demons. I don't want to now, it is already uh, 6:45. So, but let me conclude this story, that it is very interesting. So this, how goddess killed them, that was described by this sage. And the two, that king Suratha and the merchant Samadhi, they were listening to that. And so they both decided that we should propitiate this goddess. This mother of the universe we must propitiate. So they went to the bank of a river, holy river, and then with the sand they made the image of goddess. And we need images. Howsoever we may argue about not having images, it is Swami Vivekananda says only those people who have gone beyond this sense of name and form, they may not need images. Others will all need images. So it is because we worship even our, say, people here, how we recognize them by the image made of flesh and blood, that's all. It is just an image. So it is futile. Swami Vivekananda says it is futile to argue against the use of images and symbols. They have to be there. It is so these Surat and Samadhi, they decided to propitiate the goddess, made her image, and then for a long time in the Puranas, the stories, everything requires 1,000,000 years at least. Why 1,000,000 years? The idea is one has to be very patient, long time. One cannot say that, this is to show that tendency in us, that we do a little practice and see, nothing is happening. What is going to happen in 2 minutes? See, for 1 year I have been repeating the mantra, nothing has happened. What happens? It is not matter of a short time. Even to pass the high school exam, you have to spend 12 years, right from the first grade. Forget the kindergarten and all. 12 years of studies and so forth. You have to spend for that little 12th grade exam passing. And this great knowledge, this tremendous wisdom, you want to get without putting in this time, you have to put in lot of time very patiently. One has to have patience. So this Surat Samadhi very patiently did this sadhana for a long, long time, and then the goddess appeared before them and asked that, what can I do for you? Come on, I have come. What can I do for you? Now the boon is given. We have to ask the boon. One would say that, okay, give me liberation. It is not easy to ask for liberation. It is that the very nice telling incident in the life of Holy Mother, that it is, so the devotees were talking themselves. One devotee always used to go to Holy Mother and get some prasad.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yes, and then the others said, why don't you go and why don't you ask for liberation from Holy Mother? Ask for liberation. He said, okay, I will ask. And next time I go to Holy Mother, I am going to ask for liberation. And then went and saw the Holy Mother, got terrified. His feet started trembling. He could not ask anything. Holy Mother asked, hey, why have you come? What is? Prasad. Okay, take some prasad to go away. Because it is not easy to ask for liberation, you know. It is, we may, when we have nobody to ask, we can boast, oh, I am going to ask for liberation. No, when you face that reality, you will not be able to ask. And it is so, this king could not ask for liberation because even after so much of worship and all, he still had that lurking desire to gain his kingdom back. So he asked for that kingdom back. Whereas this businessman, he had enough of it. Enough of this, all this. He wanted to get dispassion. Means with dispassion you will get liberated. So he asked for dispassion. That is what again Holy Mother told, that if you have to ask to God, what will you ask? Somebody said that we should ask for bhakti. Somebody said, well, no, we should ask for liberation. And Holy Mother said, no, one should pray for nirvasana. Nirvasana. That let there be no desire. So, praying for dispassion. He asked for vairagyam and thus got liberated. Now this one who got that king, so he went, collected his army, fought the war and then won the kingdom back. So that is how the result is, that worship God, both are given according to what you ask for. It is told in our Vedanta literature, vividho hi vedokto dharma pravritti lakshanascha nivritti lakshanascha, that the religion of Vedanta is of two levels. One is for those who want to go into the world and then experience various things in the world, want worldly prosperities. Of course, then they will have to get the consequences of it too. It is, but then that is the training, you know, learn from the consequences. If you want happiness, the misery is going to follow, you know. There is no such thing that only happiness will come, no misery will come. Why misery comes here, Swami Vivekananda tells that we make the pleasures to be goal, and then that lands us in suffering. That is how this is but we cannot learn unless, you know, we go and experience those things, that it is, okay, let me go and, you know, enjoy this. Let me become a rich person. Let me get married and have spouse and children. So that is the idea of a happy life that one keeps on dreaming about. And even if it is told, no, that is going to be a problem, and you are not in a state to listen to all that, because you need to experience it. So it is a, you know, through hard experience. Experience is the great teacher. then you learn that marriage is not a word but a sentence. So anyway, it is you are sentenced.
My man is calling me sentence.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Jai Ma, Jai Ma. So it is, with the experience one learns, So with that it is, they,
From the center.
and the dispassion comes. So that is the Nivritti Lakshana Dharma, that oh, enough. Now I am not interested in any of these things. I have seen through it. I have learned my lesson. It is, we all have to learn the lesson. It is not a matter of just choosing. It depends on our spiritual evolution. It is, then we accordingly we ask in the prayer. And even if the God says that, okay, what do you want? And we are not ready to ask for liberation. We have something uppermost in our mind, that is asked. And it is like the children may ask, well, I want ice cream. That is uppermost. That is the, according to some of these children or childish people, the aim and end is, why are these grown-up people are worrying about the problems of the world? Give everybody enough candy and that will be all, the problems of the world will be solved. So that is how that mentality, you cannot convince them otherwise. It is, so there are childish people. So gradually they will learn. Those who learn, in Bengali there is a nice saying, Dekhe Shekha or Theke Shekha. There are, means somebody sees the other fellow just walking and falling down. Somebody who is walking in the back sees, oh, there is something. That fellow doesn't have to fall, but learns by looking at other person. Of course, there are many who even they themselves fall, do not learn. They have to fall multiple times. Then they may learn. So, it is, and everybody is accepted. God is for everyone. But that is clear, the law of karma is there. Whatever you ask for, you get it. But you have to take the consequence of it also. It is, the bargain is like that. You order a dish in the restaurant, the bill also comes, It is, you have to pay that. So, that is it. So this is how the story concludes, and let us take the lesson of unifying our personality, learning to properly propitiate the divine in us, awaken that divinity, and thus defeat, kill the demons which are obstructing us. So it is a great text. So let us pray to the goddess so that we will get blessed by her and we will progress in our life from wherever we are according to the stage that we are on. Nobody is rejected. Nobody is said, no, you will go to eternal damnation. That is not in Hinduism or in Vedanta. No eternal hell. So it is, everybody will get their chance. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, look, that when somebody has gone to take prasad, there was a big worship, everybody will get prasad, some will get early and they stood early in the line, somebody will get a little later, but everybody will get. So everybody will gradually get to liberation according to their station, according to their desires, according to their impressions. So, thank you friends. I was getting this, this is my bonus to meet you all. I actually mainly came for the function in Greenville. Yesterday and then today morning I was there, talking there, discussing many beautiful, very ennobling ideas there. And then on the way back, I decided, okay, let me meet these friends also. Thank you very much for coming and inspiring me to think of these very holy thoughts. It is. I read those things, on the faces of you all. So I get the inspiration and guidance. So you are all the images of the divinity. Please accept this little worship from me and shower your blessings on me. Thank you very much.
Swamiji, it is a bonus for us.
I don't know about you, but it is a bonus for me. I can speak for myself, isn't it?
I'm speaking for myself.
Swamiji, while you're talking, you created such a nice atmosphere. Then I closed my eyes and I was trying to feel more. Because your atmosphere was good.
Oh, thank you.
So that's the way, like not just only listening, but also feeling inside.
Thank you. Very good. That is what one should do.